Hello, I'm Brent Farris from the Beta Man Studios, and in this video I want to go over how you can determine if a network view is yours inside of your code. Now, uh, I'm going to explain the applications for it and why it's important to know who is, in ownership of who. So let's get started. So let's say for my last video when we instantiate spheres, inside of the scene we want to know who owns it in order to do calculations on it. So let's imagine that we had a script here on the sphere. I'm just going to create a sphere script, and I'm going to apply that to the sphere prefab. Alright, so here we are, and inside of the sphere prefab, and we have our sphere script. So, let me open it up. There we go. So we want to be able to know who owns this object in order to do specific things on it. So I'm going to show you a simple example. So let's say we have an int health. Let's make it public, I guess. Int health is 100. Now let's say that we do, if this collides with something, it loses health. On collision, enter. Health minus equals, let's just do 25. Alright, and then we say if health is less than or equal to 0, game object dot destroy, so we destroy it. Game object. So this is simple logic that would work normally. So if we had an object and it collided with stuff, we decrement its health, and once its health reaches 0 or less, we destroy it. So what we want to say is we don't want this to happen across the network. Let's say that the server created this object. Now, do we want the client to be in control of when the server's object dies? No, we don't want the client to be in control of when the server's object dies. It's just, no, you don't want that. That's where you get cheating and all that other stuff happening. The server should be in control of when the server's object dies. So this is the client checking when the server's object dies, and it's destroying it. Now, this will not destroy it across the network, by the way. It will destroy it locally. For destroying across the network, we have network.destroy game object. So I'm just going to comment this one out so you know that they're the same thing. So we have the network.destroy game object. So this destroys it across the network. Now, how do we know? How do we prevent the client from doing this check? How do we prevent the client from decrementing the health? Because the client still has collision detection if the physics is happening across the network, and it still has this health variable it can check against. Those are two things that we don't want the client to be able to be in control of. So it's actually fairly simple. Unity gives us a very easy way to control this. We say if network view dot is mine. So if the network view is mine, we're going to decrement the health. Same thing up here. If network view is mine, we're going to do the health check. So we're only checking this if the network view is owned, or if the network view is owned by the person that has this object, who owns this object. So now if I were to, let's build this. I still have my other scripts attached to here so I can instantiate it. Oops. What is that madness? Okay, that was weird. Alright, so it's building. I'm play. Going to host. Actually, I'm gonna make Unity networking. No. YouTube. yeah, YouTube, I was in the right place. Builds, all right. I'm going to make my editor be the host, and this guy to be the client. Connect. Okay, so I'm going to instantiate an object over here on the network, on the server, and as you can see, I can control it. And what I'm going to do is take its health down to 0. Notice when it goes to 0, the object dies and is deleted from the server. Now I'm going to create a sphere on the client, and I'm going to set its health here on the server. I'm going to set its health to 0. Notice it does not die. That's because the server is not calling it to die, and the health isn't being updated over here when I change it on the server, because it's owned by the client. So therefore it doesn't get destroyed. So you can see that we can control who owns the object and how the behaviors act with this network view is mine. Now in later tutorials I'm going to show you how to create an authoritative server, which means that all objects are created on the server and all objects are checked on the server. This is the best way to prevent any kind of hacking or cheating without any real security checks and without checking a bunch of security stuff. Just basic out-of-the-box stuff. With the authoritative server, you have greatly enhanced your security. So I will show you how to do authoritative servers soon enough. But for now, this is technically not an authoritative server because the client can create objects on its side and the server can create objects on its side, and the client controls the objects it has, whereas the server cannot control those objects. So this is more of a peer-to-peer network where you do have a server because somebody is hosting, but the server does not have authority over the objects that the client creates. So that's a tutorial. This is a quick tutorial on how to use the network view is mine to determine who owns the object and who can manipulate that object. So I hope it helped out, and I shall see you very soon for the later networking tutorials.